Hello, welcome everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Joe. The most important thing you probably need to know at this point is that I really like books. Really like books. Like a lot. Ever since I was a kid reading the Mr. Men books, I've pretty much always had a book somewhere near me. It's quite an important part of my life. I work in a bookshop now. I work at Waterstones in Leeds. And even when I'm not at work, I spend a lot of my time with my head buried in a book. Any of my friends will probably testify that. The other thing I really like is talking. And I do get to talk, especially about books, a lot at work and with my colleagues and my friends, but I think it's good to have that extra little place for me to rant about books I don't like, rave about books I do like, and generally just talk about anything book related that I fancy. And this is the perfect place to do that. So there's quite a few different things I've got planned to do with this channel. One of the main things I'll be doing will be book reviews, quite unsurprisingly. I'm going to try and review books which I think are important, that are either bestsellers or prize winners, or books I just really love, really hate, books everybody else loves that I just think's a bit alright. Basically anything crucial. I've got an example to show later about the kind of book I'm going to be doing those reviews for, but that'll be a big part of what I do, maybe a couple of times a month. I'm going to do the standard monthly recaps and to-be-reads, so talking about everything I've read in a month, giving out reviews of each of them, little snippets for anybody that's interested. You'll see when I talk about what I'm reading this month, it's a varied bunch of stuff, but I'm looking forward to doing that. I mean, the one problem with that will be working in a bookshop. Most days I'll see a new book I want to buy. So there's a good chance that a few times I'll set out books to be read and something else will jump in the queue. Bear with me. It's going to happen. I have no willpower. But I'll make sure I always get around to reading everything I say I will. It might take me a few months, as it has this year, but I'll get to it. One of the other things I want to do on the channel is kind of a top lists. So top 5 children's classics, top 5 books that defined me, you know, top 5 books that had the biggest impact on me. Those kinds of lists. I think there's quite a lot of stuff to get at there, and there's a lot of stuff I feel like I can share that wouldn't necessarily have been shared with anyone. So that's something else I want to look into exploring, and I've got a few ideas for them already planned. The last thing I know I want to do is a year-end awards. So a bit similar to before, but I want to do, for 2014, a whole selection of categories. It will be as glamorous as the Oscars, I promise. So my favourite fiction, my favourite non-fiction, my favourite sci-fi, my favourite kids book, because I think it's been a really good year for books. Mixed. Some big books have been not as good as expected, and some books have been much better than expected, but I'm looking forward to doing a bit of a recap of the year and what I thought were the best books this year. I'm looking forward to finding out what you guys think are the highlights as well. Because obviously everyone's got very different opinions. I've always found that mine are quite different to most people's. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about that, and I'm looking forward to sharing my opinions with people. So the other thing I want to do in this video is go through my to-be-read for December. I'll do a full wrap-up of all the books at the end of the month. But I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts. There's some I've already read, some I'm already reading, so I'll talk a bit about it now as well. As I said, because we're already a week in, I've actually already read a book, which is this one, The Guest Cat, Takashi Harada. It's one that I read for a book club that I'm part of, and it's been an unexpected success recently. It's not a well-known author, it's his first novel, in fact, his poet was his first novel, and it's not been massively promoted beforehand, but it's really taken off, and I think part of it is, look how adorable the cover is, look at the eyes, and secondly, it's a really good story. It's only short, so it's a great little one to blitz through. I read it in a couple of days, a couple of sittings, and it's one of those ones that you really get caught up in. It's a really lovely writing style, and if you like cats, there's no reason you shouldn't be reading this book. Even if you don't like cats, not the biggest cat lover, don't hurt me, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm warming to kittens now, I'll be honest. But if you like Japanese literature, if you want a nice easy little story, definitely one to go for, but I'll get more at the end of the month. So as I said, I'm also reading 2 other books at the minute, quite different but also quite similar. The first, Short History of China, Gordon Kerr. Might seem a bit unexpected for this kind of video. I actually did a history degree, So this kind of stuff is right up my street. I've done bits of Chinese history in the past, but I don't really get the full spectrum. I didn't really know how it all fit together. Why not give this a go? I've always found the short history series have been quite good, and I'm enjoying this so far. It's good to kind of see how everything fits together in Chinese history that I know about from films and books and bits of studying I've done. And I'm really enjoying it. I've never used to read much non-fiction. It's quite a recent thing for me. But yes, if you want to get into Chinese history, this has proven to be a very good starting point for me. And I know I've already found a few things in this that I want to read about more. But it's one that's definitely worth taking a look at if you are interested in that kind of period. The other one is this, The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. Most people interested in books will have heard about this already, I would think. It's one of the biggest debut releases in years. It was subject to a massive bidding war. Loads of publishers bid for it. I think it was 10 in total wanted it when it first was finished. And it's been just as successful when it's been released. It's got really good reviews. One of the biggest selling books of the summer. It's beautiful. Look at the cover. Look at the blue edges. Oh my god. And I'm a bit ashamed it's taken me this long to get around to it. I was lucky enough to meet the author, who signed my book, which is fantastic. And a lot of my colleagues and friends have read this and raved about it. And I've had it sitting on my shelf. December, wait for Christmas. This is the time to catch up on books I wish I'd read and never had. It's very good. I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to do a full review on this within the next week or so. But if you're stuck for a present for Christmas, if you're stuck for some reading for yourself, you want to try something new, it's a bit historical, a bit romance, a bit mystery. It's an interesting mix of everything, and it's not going how I thought it would go at all, but in a good way. So that's definitely one worth having a look at, but I'll let you know my full thoughts when I finish it. So that brings me on to my to be read for December. Obviously I want to finish both of those, but I'm setting myself a target of another 2 books on top of that. I know I'll probably get a few for Christmas, and that might change my order a bit, but I'm hoping to get these finished before then anyway. Fingers crossed. So these are actually both proof copies, which is one of the many joys of being a bookseller. Publishers send you free copies of books. And the first one is one I actually have received a few months before its release. It's this, which is not very obvious from the cover, but it's the new book by S.J. Watson, Second Life. S.J. Watson, for those who don't know, is the one who wrote Before I Go to Sleep, which is a massive selling kind of psychological thriller book, and was a film this year. Bradley Cooper, Nicole Kidman. Not actually read Before I Go to Sleep. A little bit ashamed to say, because I've heard great things about it, and I've also not seen the film. But when somebody asked if I wanted the opportunity to read the second book, yes I do. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Apparently it's similarly psychological, mystery, unexpected stuff. And it's the kind of stuff I like. I've not read anything along these lines for quite a while. I didn't get around to reading Gone Girl or anything like that, so actually this will be quite a nice new adventure for me this Christmas. And it's always nice to be able to read and review a book before it's even out. The other one, again a proof, is based on a TV programme I've been watching recently. It's The 100. It's been on E4. It's an American programme. It's post-apocalyptic, as all good programmes seem to be at the minute. And it's about, essentially, humanity, nuclear war has destroyed the Earth and rendered it uninhabitable. A group of people survived on a space station orbiting the Earth. But the space station is running out of supplies and they're having to find an alternative. So they send 100 juvenile criminals from the space station to Earth. Now, all that I know from the TV series, I didn't even know it was a book when I started watching the TV series. But my colleague offered me this copy and I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm intrigued to see how different it is. I'm always a bit nervous when you read a book that you've seen the film or TV of, or vice versa. So that's leaving me with a little bit of nervousness about it. But I'm optimistic to see how it goes, and I'm looking forward to reading it and comparing it with the TV series. So that's the other one I've planned. I do like a lot of teen fiction, and I'm looking forward to getting around to that one. So it's quite an eclectic mix for December, really. Cover quite a lot of genres. We've got teen, sci-fi, crimey mystery, just cute fiction, history, basically everything in one book. It's a really good mix. I'm looking forward to reading them. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other stuff I'll find between now and the end of the month I also want to read. And I'm optimistic I can fit something else in. If there's anything you guys think I should read, obviously around Christmas, always after more books. So if anyone's got any suggestions, let me know below. I've not got much penciled in for January yet, so let me know if there's anything you think I should be reading, or anything you think I should avoid. And I'll get back to you at the end of the month with what I think about all of these. And you can expect a video in the next week or so talking about this for quite a while, because I've already got quite a lot to say, I'm only about halfway through. But it's one that I think there's plenty of stuff to talk about, some quite controversial stuff to talk about, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys all think about that, and whether you agree with me or think I'm completely stupid, which is quite a common opinion. So I'll be back with that in about a week or so. Otherwise, please comment down below if you've read any of the books, what you think about them, if there's anything you think I should be looking to read in the future, or if there's anything you think I've missed in this video. So I'm sure there is. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.